Number one from the worksheet. Expand, but it doesn't want you to find anything. It's just 1 through 6 are just expand. So you may have done more than that, and that's okay. But all you had to do was use the formula to expand it. So let's see, cosine is cosine minus sine. Again, I have them memorized, so I fill those in first. Most of you don't have them memorized, and you don't need to have them memorized. Cosine 120, cosine 45, minus sine 120, sine 45. And that's all you have to do for 1 through 6. I don't know that I made that clear yesterday. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did not make that clear yesterday. But that's all you have to do. You don't have to evaluate all of those. So just sort of apply the formula and be done. That's all you have to do. We did number 7. That's sort of applying the formula backwards. Any questions on 7 through 12? I mean, assuming there's not on 1 through 6, it's just straightforward, apply the formula. But 7 through 12, some of those are kind of tricky, especially the ones with the variables in them, like 10 and 11. Questions on those? Number 10. So it looks like tangent plus tangent over 1 minus tangent. That looks like tangent of sums. Because that sine and that sine are the same for the tangent property. And so the two arguments are 2x and x. So that maybe looks kind of weird, and it could be simplified to tangent of 3x, but that's all we have to do is leave it like that. Yes, no? So this is 7 through 12 are like pattern recognition. There's not really anything to do. It's just, do you recognize what formula it came from? Do you recognize the right-hand side of the formula? So you're not really looking at the numbers. You're just looking at sine cosine plus sine cosine. Well, that looked like the sine of adding two things. And then the two things are 140 and 50. So pattern recognition, but you don't have the pattern memorized. You have the pattern written down, and so you just compare the two and pick which of the 6 formulas it goes with. There's also 6 questions there, so I bet there's one of each. Yep, there is. Right, but the main point of the worksheet was 12 or 13 through 18. So what questions on 13 through 18? 14? So it's got to be broken up with a subtraction sign. It's the only way we're going to get down to 15. How did you split it up?
I did 60 minus 45.
Okay. So there's 2 ways to do that one. You could do 45 minus 30 or 60 minus 45. And I guess there's other crazier ways that you probably wouldn't want to mess with, but we'll do it this way. So from the formula, that's tangent 60 minus tangent 45 over 1 plus tangent 60 tangent 45. And now we got to know all those values. My brain has like fully switched over to radian mode, so when I see 60, I really want to change that to pi over 3, because I know tangent of pi over 3 better than I know tangent of 60. If your brain doesn't work that way, that's okay. You may have to do sine of 60 over cosine of 60 and get it that way. But I know the tangent 3 trick, and the tangent of pi over 3 is the square root of 3. Tangent of 45, that's the one that's right in the middle, so that's just 1. We like that one. Over 1 plus, and then it's the same values, so square root of 3 times 1. Obviously, the times 1 doesn't really do anything, but I put it there to sort of match the formula that it came from. This one worked out well because we don't have the fraction problem that sometimes happens with tangents. And so if you can use pi over 3, you will avoid the fraction problem. By that I mean, if we had used pi over 6 or 30 degrees, then we'd have root 3 over 3. So if you can figure out a way to avoid pi over 6 for tangents, you probably should. It makes your life a little easier. If you can't figure out a way, no big deal. It just adds an extra algebra step at the end. But whether on purpose or by chance, we picked the right one this time to make our lives a little easier. Because there's no fractions to clear. So all I'm worried about is multiplying by the conjugate. Whoops, that's not the conjugate. All right, the whole point is to change the middle sign. So 1 minus square root of 3. And now we have 2 FOIL problems to worry about. So I'm going to FOIL the top and then FOIL the bottom and see what happens. So first, outside, inside, and last. Again, we start to do this quicker and quicker. We assume you know how to FOIL. We assume you can multiply square root of 3 times square root of 3 and do all that stuff relatively quickly. FOILing the bottom. That's a minus sign in there. First, outside, square root of 3. No, outside is minus square root of 3. Inside is plus square root of 3. Those will cancel. They'll always cancel. That's why we multiply by the conjugate, to make them cancel. And then last would be minus 3. Well, let's see. Negative 4 plus 2 root 3 over, those guys canceled, negative 2. And we're dividing everybody by negative 2, so make sure you divide everybody by negative 2. So that would be 2 minus square root of 3. Now, because of what we're going to do today, you actually will have your calculator on the quiz tomorrow. But it doesn't help you much. It's great for checking. Let's see, 15 is degrees. So tangent of 15. But if you write 0.2679 as your answer, I'm not going to give you any credit because like I need to see all the work. But if you check it to see if that's the same as 2 minus square root of 3, those are supposed to be the same thing, and they are. So calculator that you'll have is a great resource to check, and we don't mind you having it because it doesn't help other than checking, right? If you don't know how to split up 15 and how to do all this stuff, I mean, the calculator can give you your final answer, but it can't get you, it can't take you on the path. It just knows what the landing spot is. Or you don't have to use the calculator at all. You could just trust it and be done. But I'm glad you asked a tangent problem because those are the hardest ones algebraically to deal with. All right, I think we can be good off that worksheet because the rest are easier. We did the hardest one, really. And I'll post answers so that you can check them. You can check them later.